today, representing HDK, which is People's Democratic Congress Women's Assembly, and he must be out there somewhere, along with American Kurdish Association Women's Assembly, and I am so honored to be here to represent these women. So thank you. As official endorsers of today's International Women's Strike, we are honored to have been chosen among all these amazing women across the USA to say a brief message of the importance of International Women's Working Day for the Kurdish women's social movement in Turkey and Kurdistan.
Lines, while corporations salivate over profits, ignoring the collateral damage, where whole sectors of society are marginalized, demonized, scapegoated, assaulted, deported, and murdered, and then blamed for the problems that exist in our world. Where people who work hard all their lives find their jobs disappear due to mergers, relocations, de-skilling, perversions of technology, aging out, and outsourcing, all in the name of the bottom line. This is the collateral damage of capitalism. When uninsured patients put up a medical visit, only to find that they have advanced incurable disease. When the frail elderly have to choose between medications and food. When mental illness destroys families. And we know we're going to see a lot more of that if things continue. The repeal of the ACA, as weak as it is, will result in countless more health care tragedies. The loss of the safety net will destroy our public health system, and de-skilling of caregivers will only further the inequities we face. Finally, the unrelenting attacks against unions will deny access to many more people. And who bears the brunt of these attacks? Immigrant women, women of color, poor women, and our children statistically suffer the most. Women are already working 2 jobs, one inside the home and one outside the home. And now we have the additional responsibility of being caregivers, whether we're nurses or not. This is why our union supports a single-payer healthcare system. We believe that quality healthcare is a human right. So factory speed up for nurses.
My name is Lauren Jobson Ahmed. I work in education nonprofit leadership in New York City and in the greater Los Angeles area. Today is an amazing day to be a woman, just like every other day. It is International Women's History Day, and also today is a Day Without Women, which was organized by the leaders for the Women's March in D.C.
What do you do for a living, and what's your participation in the feminist movement?
Sure. So I work in education and social justice, using arts as a conduit for social change. So my formal title is I'm the Director of Federal Grants and Projects at Urban Arts Partnership. And so I design and oversee $8 million worth of United States Department of Education funded arts interventions for children ages pre-K through high school. And so a lot of the work that I do is designing and implementing curriculum that uses the arts to foster social and developmental change, especially for populations who are deemed and riddled with deficit-oriented language, so youth who are considered at risk or disengaged or disabled, and shifting that narrative in the public education sector in New York City and in Los Angeles. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think generally, regardless of party lines, I think politics has done a really horrendous job of actually representing any minority or oppressed person. I think there's always a secondary agenda into moving forward the agenda of women, in terms of moving forward the agenda of people of color, in terms of moving the agenda of any person who belongs to any oppressed minority in this country. It's everybody's fault. There's not an active intentionality to listen and also understand the history that has been so deeply enmeshed in this country in particular. And so what ends up happening, unfortunately, is that a lot of political candidates use these platforms to just create more buzzwords so that they get approval, when in reality a lot of these issues continue to remain unaddressed, and they become more pervasive and more systemic and cause a tremendous amount of mistrust. Now, what it really needs to end up happening here is that, women and allies need to unite and completely regain complete control of the economic power in this country. At the end of the day, the bottom line is money, and money talks. And I'm personally tired of false figureheads coming to the forefront claiming that they represent our values and nothing ends up moving forward in an aggressive manner. The time is now.
For the chair of the Socialist Party.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be speaking today to this incredible women's strike. It's through the power of those gathered here today, those willing to fight for independence and unity of working people, that we end the domination of capitalism, reverse its false polarization, and discard its rotten politics. The power we possess here today was handed down to us by working women throughout history. Today's strike marks International Working Women's Day, a holiday first held by the Socialist Party here over 100 years ago. On this day, we remember heroic women such as Clara Lemlich, who demanded a general strike of textile workers in 1909, leading to the uprising of 20,000, where women left their sewing machines in sweatshops like the one that burned around the corner, to demand humane working conditions. Women like Clara fought as socialists and as unionists with the full knowledge that our rights must be won in struggle and defended with vigilance and never taken for granted. Today, we follow Clara's example and create our own women-led uprising, finding unity in our common struggles and potential power in our unity. On International Working Women's Day, we in the Socialist Party are here to stand for health care, child care, elder care, and a living wage for all. We stand for a woman's right to decide if, when, and how to have children. We stand for the right of all workers to organize. These demands are fundamental. However, even these basic needs are constantly betrayed by the parties in power. Both parties have refused to heed the popular demands for substantial paid maternity leave, universal child care, and universal health care. Both parties collude with the capitalist interest to keep the minimum wage at poverty levels and crush worker organizing. Here in New York, the government fails to enforce the minimum wage and overtime laws, resulting in the theft of hundreds of millions of dollars from workers every year. Both parties refuse to fight for public housing. In New York City, there are over 270,000 people on the waiting list for an apartment, and homelessness is at the highest level since the Great Depression. Yet, instead of building public housing, the government holds perverse lotteries that dole out a few apartments while private developers receive huge payments. International Working Day is about power, theirs and ours. Their power puts courts and legislatures in charge of whether a woman can have an abortion. Our power leaves this decision where it belongs, with the woman herself. Our power lies in organizing for a national system of universal health care. Their power is in welfare reform that pushes women into low-paid jobs and their children into inadequate health care and child care. Our power is the right to the creation of good jobs with pay equity, benefits, and the full funding of quality child care, education, and social services. Their power works through politicians who serve capitalist interests. Our power gets exerted through political action independent of the capitalist party. Their power resides in exploitation, inequality, domination, violence, and deception. Our power resides in solidarity, cooperation, compassion, respect, and collective action. International Working Women's Day is our day. That's the truth, and that's our power.
Just left from the Women's March, or the Women's Strike, led by some of the organizers of the Women's March. And it was really good to see. Let me just park up right here. It was really good to see some of the economic messages that are currently the big issue, I think, in these movements. And what they're trying to address is not just simply an anti-Trump agenda, but an anti-corporatist, cronyist agenda, which has really plagued America for the last 40, 50 years on this kind of extreme. It was good to see a mixture of that. There's representatives from the Socialist Club, Socialist Group of New York, and lots of female activists, of course. Got some interviews. They'll be going up on elevatortracks.New York City. Look out for. It's kind of spelled a little bit weird, I know, but it's ELEVTRTRAX, elevator tracks. So stay tuned for that. Peace, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to urge other people to not only think about resistance in terms of rebelling. I think true rebellion involves much more aggressive means, such as understanding the power of money, divesting from absolutely everything, creating a new economic system that completely defies capitalism. Secondly, don't pay your debts that funnel into the federal government. The end, period. If you have federal student debt, don't pay it off. If you have federal loans, don't pay it off. Find any way to not give a single dollar back to this government. Third, I think people need to understand that, revolution also requires creating action and putting it into place. It doesn't mean subsuming control and power over or trying to create power with people. This system is broken. It's time to envision a completely different form of government that actually respects human values. Oh, and last but not least, sorry, as an educator, this is also critically important to me, but to teach everything. Our history has been completely erased in every way possible. We are distracted by performing well on test scores. We are distracted by the sense of achievement and accomplishment, when the reality is that very real and serious things that have happened to many, many minority groups have been completely swept under the rug in this country. So educate yourself.